There's a thing on Facebook, you can see what your IQ is. I'm a rocket scientist. Well, it'll tell you what how accurate it is. They ask questions that are very simple.
I would take a state test if I wanted to know what my IQ was. But really, at my age, it doesn't matter.
Alrighty. Systems of equations. System is plural, and equations are plural. So that means we're dealing with more than what? One. So what they're going to be asking you to do in all of these applications is you need to find the solution. That fits all equations given. Now, up until now, meaning Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and College Algebra, you should know the three ways to solve systems of equations, or should have been exposed to them. The first way is by graphing. We will go over that. The second way is by substitution. And the third way is by elimination. We will also study matrices and Cramer's rule. Now, with graphing, we're going to find the intersection of two what? Two lines. With substitution and elimination, you're going to use algebra with both to find the same solution. With matrices and Cramer's rule, you're going to use matrices to find the same solution. So we'll start off with graphing. And like I say, most of you should have had at least these. You probably did this, and you probably didn't want to do this, but you did. You did the best you could with it. Don't know what your personal history is with those three, but that's usually the way it goes. That teacher, that high school teacher, shows the heck out of this. You do 15,000 problems. Do this when everybody's happy, and you get to this one, that's where she goes, okay, y'all do 2 or 3 of these, and hopefully you get them and you don't pay. Because this one is, out of the 3, this one is the most complicated. It's not very complicated, it's just for some people it's complicated. All right, so let's take an example. Now, with graphing, you've got to remember your old rules. And you also got to remember that if you have an intersection, that is a solution. Anybody remember this? What if you have parallel lines? Say again? I didn't hear you. No, the opposite of no solution. Well, yeah, you're right, no solution. I'm thinking something different. No, so I'm thinking of perpendicular. I'm sorry, no solution. And what if you have the same line? That's black, I better use blue too. In other words, the same line, you got blue and black on top of each, blue and red on top of each other. What if you had the same line? What's the opposite of no solution? All real solutions. Infinite solutions. So that's your three possible answers, because every once in a while, the teacher will put these on a test. Just to see if you know what's going on. Just telling you, with other teachers, I don't do it. If it's on there, I didn't put it on there to try to trick you. I put it on there because it regenerates. You got to learn, you got to remember your rules. There's the chart plot method of graphing, where you pick numbers, X and Y, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. 90% of the time I pick those numbers, unless I have a fraction, then I pick 5 multiples of the what? Denominator. And then I get my numbers here. That's one way of graphing. Second method of graphing is called the intercept method, where you plot the what? The intercepts. The x-intercept and the what? And with the with the x-intercept, 0 is always what? Y. With the x-intercept, 0 is always y. With the y-intercept, 0 is always what? X. And plug each other. Now, I'm not going to go through these, okay? I'm just trying to brush your memory up. You should be aware of these. And then the third method is what I call the build in a line. And that's where you plot the y-intercept, draw a trace line. Trace line is either left to right up or left to right what? Down. And then put your vertical over your horizontal. Now those are the three methods of graphing a line. Alright. Which one is the most versatile? This one. This one can be used with linear and non-linear. So this one's probably the one that's used the most. This one's the quickest. This one is non-math. There's more math in these two than this one. This one you just pull out the stuff and plot it. You don't do any math or calculate or anything on this one. Okay, so that's your three methods of graphing. You guys know how to graph. And you're finding the intersection, so I would highly suggest that you use graph paper. Because you've got to find, I will give you at least 2 or 3 on the test that you've got to find, and they have graph paper on there. But if you don't learn how to do it, accurately, if you can't graph accurately, then what does that mean about your intersection? It's going to be inaccurate. So you need to use graph paper on this method. All right, so I'm going to put a problem on the board, and I'm going to make sure that I have grid paper. And I'm going to put 2 problems. I'm going to put a red problem, y is equal to -2x plus 4, and a red problem. I mean a blue problem. Y is equal to 4x plus 7. And I want you to find the solution to that system of equation. I bought my lunch like 12:30. What time is it now? 3 o'clock. That's good.
Son dropped his phone. And y'all know that constitute as a what?
New.
As an emergency.
It constitutes as a new refund for the kid.
No, it constitutes a CPR.
Yeah, I understand it's an emergency, so what we gotta do?
All right, so the first thing we do is draw our handy dandy grid. And this would have to be all right, I'm going to use the building a line method. So I'm going to put my 4 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've got a trace line that's going in the negative direction. So it looks something like that right there. Oops, that's not straight. And I'm going to go 4 up, 1 over, 4 down, 1 over, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to take my red marker and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 up, or 1 over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 over. Now, I'm sorry, if you don't know how to graph, that's not my problem. All right? Yes, sir.
Are we supposed to see that first line you drew?
You can't see it?
No.
I'm sorry. That's tough. Hold on. It's supposed to be real light. It's just a trace line. See that? Just a trace line showing you which direction it is. Because I can't stand to hear students go, oh, that's -2, so it's -2 over +1. You don't know that. Negative tells you that it goes from left to right and goes which way? Down. How do you know? It's your little car here. What's that car going to do? It's going to go downhill. So it's left to right down, or left to right up. But people want to make it complicated by saying all the other stuff, and I just don't believe in that. So, all right, so I got 3 points. Now I take my handy dandy line maker, and I try to draw a decent line. It's hard to do when you don't have where's my rotate? My rotate is usually on there. It's supposed to be real. Okay, well you get the point. The point is that it's pretty close. Right in there, somewhere in there. I'm a little bit off. I wanted to rotate, but it won't let me. It usually has a frame on it that says rotate. What is that? Just like this here. There's that line. And now we erase the trace line because we don't need it anymore. now we do the blue line. And 0, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we've got a trace line that goes left to right what? Left to right uphill. And 4 over 1. So I'll go down 4 because somebody out there saying we have to go up. We don't have to go up, we go down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So we go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I guarantee you somebody's out there going, oh my God, I can't believe he's going to go down. People, you didn't get your money's worth because a lot of students were not taught correctly. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm perfect. But I'm a whole lot better than some of them out there teaching. Because I was a victim of some of them that didn't know how to teach. They tell us that you have to go, you have to. Not that you could, that you have to go up 4. Because that's positive. The only thing that positive tells you is that your trace line is going left to right upward. That's all it tells you. And then you just follow the trace line. And when you follow this trace line, you may not be as steep as this, or it may be less and more steep. But the whole point is that you understand what this tells you. This right here tells you that it's going left to right up. This right here tells you it's going left to right what? Down. Infuriates me when students go, oh, you can't do that. And there's that space. Now, look at turn blue. All right, we're ready to quit yet. Oh man, look at this. And that's why the system of equations, solving systems of equations by graphing sucks. It's because you're going to fall what?
Open area.
And that is not good because y'all can understand what? Fractions. But we'll have to do the best we can. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 by 1/2. Or 1/2, 6.5 is what I'm going to say. I have no idea what the answer is. But the good thing, I say mine is approximately -1/2, comma, -1/2, comma, what did I say, 6 1/2? 6 1/2 would be 13 halves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/2. Sorry, 5 1/2 is what? 11 halves? Thank you. I counted one extra. You just like to prove me wrong. You just like to make my life miserable. 11 over 2. Now, that's what I think by graphing, that's what I think the answer is. Now, you're not sure unless you're very particular about your graphing and you don't use very thick lines. Now, one of the reasons I have to use thick lines is because you won't be able to see it. So, that's why I use thick lines. But we all see why the, whatever method we're using, what's it called? Graphing is so inaccurate because of this very reason. So, let's take the same problem and let's do the next page and do substitution. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on graphing because 1 is the least accurate. 2, I'm not going to give you that many on the test. And 3, we can see where people would mess up the most. So we're going to go with substitution next. And y'all should already know how to graph. That's number 3 also. You should know how to graph. All right. So next page, y'all got to give me the problems again. Y is equal to -2x plus 4. Is that the first one? Y is equal to what? -2x plus 4?
Yeah.
What's the other?
Y is 4x plus 7.
Y is equal to 4x plus 7. Now this one's easy because both of them are equal to y. So pretty much you can set them equal to what? Each other. Alright? Because technically you're substituting this in for what? Y. So I'm just going to take this one because it's positive. That's the only reason. And you substitute it in right there. That's substitution. I gotta fix that pen because I can't see it. This one on video. Usually keep it around 7. Now, of course, when do you do what? Well, if it says solve, if the directions on your test or homework say solve, what method do you use? Use any method. If it says solve using graphing, then you gotta solve using graphing. If it says solve using substitution, you gotta do that. Okay? But most of the time, if it just says graph, like graph, when it says graph, you use any method. When you're graphing lines. If it says solve and nothing else, then you can use any method. Most people use the substitution method because they can grab onto the substitution method a whole lot easier than you can grab onto the elimination method. And that's because you just haven't been taught the elimination method correctly, or you were asleep that day, or you didn't have time to finish to go over it like you did the substitution method. Yes? No, you get the same answer. Every method you'll get the same answer. Unless you do all the methods wrong, and then you'll get a different answer each time. So, parentheses equals negative 2x plus 4. 4x plus 7, and plug that in for y. Which one's my smallest bucket? 4x plus 7 is equal to negative 2x plus 4. Which one's the smallest bucket? Negative 2x. So bring it across the river, and that becomes 6x plus 7 is equal to 4. And then what? Bring this across the river. So 6x is equal to negative 3. 6 is equal, or divided by 6. So x is equal to what? It's a miracle. Negative 1/2. Now, we've got to BS our way back. And BS means what? Back substitute. Back substitute. I was wanting one of y'all to bite on that. And you can put it in either one. Which one you think I'm going to put it in? I'm going to put it in 4x because I don't want to deal with 2 or 3 negatives. So I'm going to put it in this one. Do you have to? No, you can put it in either one. It doesn't matter. So y is equal to 4 times parentheses plus 7, negative 1/2. What's negative 4 divided by 2? Negative 2 plus 7 is what?
5.
So I was off on the y. So your answer is negative 1/2 and 5. Here's your answer. So you see now that the graph that I drew was off. Let's look back at the graph. Yeah. It shouldn't be off that much though, but I guess it is. 4x, well, 4x plus 7. I'm just making sure you do this. Alright, let me,
What's the slope on your red line?
is the slope on the red line? Let me look.
You got slope on the red line.
Okay. Negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's right.
Well, no, the slope on this negative two. from the equation.
Oh, well, where did I get 4 from? Sorry, I just decided to do the problem problems, that's all. I don't make these many mistakes in my class. I don't even make this many mistakes in the Calc 2 class. It's y'all's fault. Mr. Pruitt's fault. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. That would make a difference. Alright, so let's take our handy dandy line maker. I'm not going to put arrows on it, okay? I'm going to use a pen line. It's supposed to be blue, and then red. And then blue.
Change it to blue.
Really?
I threw the back with
No, I'll fix it. Wait. Now I need to change this one, blue. Close enough. Now that one I would say 5. But it's always good to be a little bit off because it's to show you that the graphic method is the most inaccurate. And you have to really be on your plotting to get it. So even with this thing I'm a little bit off, a little bit above. But I would say 5 on that one. Where up here I said 5.5. Okay? So let's move on and do another substitution. Let's do one that's written a little bit different. Let's do negative 2x. Negative 2x plus 4y is equal to 12. And y is equal to negative 3x plus 2. Hold the roll while y'all are. Did somebody start that video?
That's right.
Or did I start it?
You started.
Okay. Good.
Are you going to count them tabs?
No, I just can't remember. I can't remember if I started it or not.
Okay.
Miss Anderson's not here today. It's unusual. She's usually here every day. Barron, oh, he came in earlier. Borth, Crane, he came in earlier. Crenshaw, DeVore, Evans is here. Fisher, Hall, she was. Keller is here. Lou is here. Moore, I think she came out of the office. Nix,
Here.
Pace was here. Page is here. Pahala's here. Dang, I think I actually said that right.
You did.
Wow, it's only taken me 3/4 of the semester. Pruitt's here. Sabe's here. Sloger's here. She left. Stone. These things keep coming up. Stone. I'll try to keep my thing over here. Walton
Here.
and Woods. Okay, now that that's done, y'all can get the heck out of Dodge whenever I let y'all go. Ain't nothing like election time to see men's ego overdo their body.
Who are you talking about?
Politicians.
Which one? Judge?
Just, no, I'm not talking about any of them indirectly. It's just amazes me. You know, if somebody has these thousands and millions of people saying, you need to run for president, you need to run for president, then, you know, that's okay. But if nobody is hollering, run for president, but you're getting on national TV and saying, I believe I could run for president. No. Lindsey Graham.
Oh.
There is a qualification to be president of the United States. One of them is not written, but what is it? You have to have what?
Competency.
No. No, look who we got up there now. I'm sorry. You have to have what? Money. Right? Think about it. You ever seen a poor president? How many of them have been a poor president? How many poor presidents has made it to the White House? Oh, all the Democratic presidents are poor. Yeah, you believe that? That's what got me about the 2014 election. Everybody was hollering about Romney's money and how much money he had. Excuse me, Obama has just as much money because Obama has money in, you know, I ain't gonna say nothing. I just love double standards. I lived with it for 22 years. Got tired of it. Y'all ready to quit? Which one are you going to plug into? Well, if Y is by itself, keep it simple. If you already got one to solve for Y, then plug that in. You're not going to, oh, well, let's solve the other one for X. No. Take this guy and plug it in where? Plug it in for Y. And that's how you do substitution. So I'm going to color this guy red. And I'm going to erase this guy. Color that black. Take this red guy. Put him right there. You ever have a dream and you cannot remember the dream for nothing until about middle of the day and then all of a sudden it pops in your head? Negative? Just happened while I was writing that on board. No. It was one of those weird dreams. I was back at Clemson So negative 2x plus 4 times negative 3 and yes, I had not been to English class, same dream over and over. I had not been to English class and the end of the semester was coming and I was going to get no grade on English because I did not go to any of the classes. And why I keep having that dream over and over and over, I'd love to know.
Does that actually have to be?
I took all my Englishes here at Tri-County. Huh? What? I'm all like, what?
It looks like that type of guy who never showed up for class.
I'll keep my comments to myself. Okay. I don't know what that type of person looks like, but. All right. So we're going to take this 4 and distribute. I know what you're talking about. 2x plus the minus what? 12x plus 8 is equal to 12. And negative 2x, that'll be negative 14x plus 8 is equal to 12. And I don't like that negative 14x, so I'm going to pull it over here. And that's going to give me 8 is equal to 12 plus 14x. And bring this 12 over here. And 8 minus 12 is what? Negative 4 is equal to 14x. Divide by 14. And that's equal to 2/7. Now we got to back substitute. And I'm going to plug it in that because it's already solved for what? Y. So y is equal to negative 3 times parentheses plus 2. And that negative 2/7 goes in here. And that's 6/7 plus 14/7 is what? 27. So our answer, these two lines cross at negative 2/7 and 20/7. And no, I'm not gonna answer the question where the 14/7 come from. I'm not gonna answer it. Yes, you have.
That's what.
Yes.
I used the elimination to get the first one. I got negative 2/7. And even if you use the elimination, when you plug,
You still got a back substitute. Yes.
Okay.
I have a question. Where the 14/7 coming
No idea. I just pulled it out of the air.
from? Oh, okay.
Now, elimination. And the reason I'm going kind of fast with the first 3 is most of you should have had these in Algebra 2. And we'll go over some more when y'all do your homework and send it to me or whatever. And I would really pay attention to elimination because elimination is pretty much what you're going to be using in your matrices, especially when you're doing the identity matrix. So, first thing you want to do is look for opposite signs. These are Huberisms. 2, look for same coefficients. 3, if not numbers 1 or 2, make it so. Captain John with the car this up. Make it so. So, let's take this example. 2x plus 4y is equal to 3, and negative 2x minus 6y is equal to 4. Now, do we have the same coefficients? Yes, we do. Do we have opposite signs? Nothing there, so understood to be a what? Positive. So do we have number 1 and number 2? Then you just do it. What do you mean do it? You put a line under it, and you add them, or combine them. And what happens to the x term? It cancels. And 4 minus 6y is negative what? And 3 plus 4 is, and our y is equal to negative 7/2. Now to find x, you take that and what? ds your way back. Either one. Now you could have gotten rid of the 4y and the 6y, but it would have involved more math. You could have multiplied the top by 3 and the bottom by 2. And you would have got that for cancel. But keep it simple. Don't go reinventing the what. Okay?
You need the,
Huh?
doesn't matter which equation, backward solve it in.
Does not matter. All right. When you come back, we will finish the first 3 and start on the matrices, okay?